Hello, hello, hello. I didn't even think to pause the TV. I apologize. All right, there we go. I'll give you guys a second to come on. If you guys are able to tune in today, hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing? Today's Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. It's Friday. Hey, hey, it's Friday. Hey, hey. All right, so it's almost the weekend. I hope you guys have some of y'all got some family coming in. Some of y'all got some good holiday plans going on. We got holiday parties coming up. Amen, amen. Give you guys a couple minutes to come on in. Come on in the room. No, I can't sing for her. Hey, Kobe. What's going on? What's going on? We are leaving 2019 and going into 2020 much better than we came in, right? Going into 2020 much better than we did in 2019. I hope that you all are well. You guys had a good week this week so far. The holidays are coming up. I hope everything is coming together for you guys. I hope you guys have a place of worship on Sunday, and have some fun plans for the new year. So anyway, so I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna try to keep this under an hour. I'm gonna try my best. And so anyway, we're talking about unplugging and rewiring. That's the tag. That's my tag. Junkyard Fitness tag for you all. That's the challenge, is to unplug and rewire. And when we're talking about unplugging and rewiring, what is the purpose of that? The purpose is, in order for you to change, you have to change your mental state. You have to change some habits that you had. In order to do that, you need to unplug from what you always done, from what you've always known, because clearly it wasn't working, correct? So we want to unplug from that, and we want to rewire ourselves. And the only way that we can rewire ourselves is we have to plug into good resources, folks out there that know about finances, folks that's out there doing it. Hey, Craig, how you doing? Hey, Rodney. Hey, Keisha Boo. We want to plug into, like I've said, it's an easy thing. Somebody out there succeeding in their realty business, wouldn't you want to go ask questions, right? So anyway, that's what that means to unplug and rewire. You want to unplug from what you've known, what you've been doing, rewire, your mental state, your spiritual state. Nutrition plays a big part. I'm working on a workbook called Pareto's Rule. Hey, Patrice. I'm working on a workbook called Pareto's Rule, where it talks about if you put a bunch of effort into 20% of something, you will get a whole lot of effect from 80% of it, of 80% of it. And so if nutrition plays a big part of your entire life. Like literally, if you use your energy and if you're feeling good, you can get out there and you can be productive in your work. You're not tired. You can do more. You can think clear. So you can strategize. You can, be creative. And so a lot of people that I follow and people that follow me are all, trying to follow the road to entrepreneurship. And so it's important that while you're following the road to entrepreneurship, that you're mentally clear, that you're, emotionally clear, that you're spiritually clear, and all that good stuff. And so definitely, it's not about just, eat right so you lose weight, but eat right so you fuel your life. Eat right so you fuel your life. I am not feeling my makeup on this. It's got to be the light. It's gotta be the light. I'm sorry, we got to cut the light on because I can't be looking like no zombie in this live. Anyway, as I'm walking around, if y'all see some boxes and stuff everywhere, whatever, I just moved into this house and I'm somewhat unpacked. Not all the way though. Not all the way. There we go. It's a little better. Anyway, so today's topic is breaking genetic and generational curses. Breaking genetic and generational curses. If this has not been something that plagues the most of us, and I'm gonna talk about some hard things, and if anybody wants to tune in, please feel free, leave some comments, words of encouragement. If you've healed through some things, please leave some ways that you've done that, because what I'm finding out is no matter what, because at one point I used to be nervous about doing these lives or providing testimonies and things like that, because I'm not sure if people are interested in what I have to say or want it, but you'd be surprised. They may not say nothing to you directly, but you are helping folks. So if you've if you've healed through some things, or if you've survived some things, you've overcome it. Because it's one thing to, sorry, ooh, I'm so sorry. It's one thing to overcome some things, and it's one thing to, you know what I mean, to still be living through it. But it's another thing to heal after the fact. You know what I mean? We've all gone through some things, but have we healed? Are the scars still there? You know what I mean? Those are some things that you want to think about. And so, you know, plug in to those, you know what I mean, that have gone through some drastic things in their life, and you know, you can't even tell that they've been through anything. You just, girl, you look good. You reading somebody's book, and you looking at them, and you like, wow, you look amazing. I never would have thought. You never know what someone has been through. And so in this moment, we don't know what nobody's going through. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Poochie. Hey, Dominique. You don't know what nobody's going through. So just to get on here and throw in some tidbits, a lot of people love to read comments. They don't really say much. They'll tune in after the fact. They might tune in tomorrow and just read through the comments and everything. So if you got some things to share, please share. I'm also going to be hitting some of y'all up, because I want you guys to join me on these lives. You know what I mean? So we can have some one-on-one conversations, because I'm not the be all tell all. I mean, we all know that I'm a baby in this thing. But I have a lot to say. I've learned a lot. I do have credentials, you know what I mean? I do kind of know what I'm talking about. So I'm not completely lost in some of the things that I'm doing. Hey, my Uncle Benny. So I'm not completely lost in, you know what I mean, what I'm doing. I am a professional in the things that I do, and I have credentials and things like that, but I'm still a baby in this thing. You know what I mean? So I'm still learning. I'm still, you know what I mean? I'm still learning from you, you know, my clients. It's, you know, learning that everybody's not the same. Everybody's healing process is different. You know, people need to be, you know, we learn this stuff in school and everything, but it's different. It's different when you're actually dealing with folks. So I'm saying all that to say, just because folks ain't, you know, knocking down your door trying to get information from you, don't mean that they can't learn anything from you. So please feel free to tune in, inbox me, let me know, you know what I mean, if there's something that, you know, an interesting topic that you want to talk about, you want to hear about, you want to learn more about, or maybe there's someone that I can plug into that can get on these lives with me, because the goal is to get people healing. This is God's work. This is God's work. The goal is to get people healed mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all that good stuff. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry. Let's get back on topic. And I said I wanted to try to keep this under an hour. So breaking genetic and generational curses. So when we're talking about breaking genetic and generational curses, genetics, genes, things that we pass down to our children, things that were passed down to us from our families. And so what I run into this, I wanted to have this conversation because I run into this a lot of times when I'm having conversations with some people about genetics. And, you know, some people think that it's inevitable. They grandma, they aunties, they uncles, all their cousins got high blood pressure. They're going to get high blood pressure if they don't have it already. You know, granddaddy, uncles, daddy, whoever had prostate cancer, you know, I'm definitely going to get prostate cancer, you know, things like that. I will message you later about that. Love you. And so there's going to be there's always that information is not totally 100% true. It's not 100%. There are ways that you can change that. And we're just not aware. We're learning, we're trying to get back to, or at least I'm doing the studies and the work and trying to put the information out there. And I realize that more folks are starting to wake up and see that there are ways to reverse some things that for years people have been telling us we can't reverse. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about it, or you need modern medicine only, Western medicine only, in order to, you know, heal, or, you know, get rid of some of these things that, you know, we may have gotten from family and whichever. And so we got it in our minds that, hey, I get it from my grandma, I get it from, you know, whichever. And that can be true. That can be true. You may end up getting high blood pressure, and you may end up getting cancer and things like that. But I want to tell you that it's preventable. It is preventable. And what that takes is that work and steps on your part to make sure that you identify what those things are. My mother's mother's side. My mother's mother's side, I think everybody lived long lives. Everybody lived long lives. You know what I mean? And so I always felt like, I'm gonna be lucky, I'm gonna live a long time, whichever, because they live long lives, not thinking I have another side to me, which is my father's side. I didn't know him. Those of you that don't know your dad, don't know don't know your mom, you may not know your family or your family's history. It's very important that you learn that information. But when I turned 19 years old, is when I met my dad for the first time. And I met my grandmother probably a year before my dad's mom. I met her probably about a year before I met him. And she was the one that gave me all the information. And I'm like, okay, well, we don't really have them type of health problems on my mom's side, but my dad's family, I'm talking about cancer, heart attack, congestive heart failure, diabetes, the whole nine. My grandmother died in her 60s. My great-grandparents, same deal. So it's just one of those things where, and my biological father he's a diabetic and he got high blood pressure. So, my mom doesn't have, I think she got high blood pressure, but my grandmother, my mom's mom, didn't get that until like recently, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where you have to know, like, where do I fall when it comes down to that? And the reason why it's important to know that is because you need to know what you may or may not be open to with, by being on the diet that you're on, or by being in the environments that you're on, or using certain products that you're using. So that way, you know what I mean? If you're susceptible to, high cholesterol and heart failure and all the other type stuff, you may need to consider taking extra steps to, making sure that that doesn't happen to you, that you don't fall into that. Because if that's a family thing, then, it's not just the fact that those genetics have passed down, bad habits have passed down too. So if that long history of things have, been happening up until today, you learn how to cook just like they cook, you learn how to use the same products that they use, you learn how to adopt the same habits that they did. And so now what Big Mama and Big Mama before her and Big Mama before her used to do, they done passed all that stuff down. And so in this house, we do exactly what Big Mama did 5 generations ago. But we're not realizing that that's 5 generations of congestive heart failure. That's 5 generations of diabetes and cancers and things like that, which means that our body is, our family genes for some reason ain't strong enough to fight off some of these things. So we got to do better. And what makes it even worse is our environment is 10 times more toxic than it was 50 years ago. The food is 10 times more toxic than it was 50 years ago. It's more processed than it was 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Fruits and vegetables are not as important as it used to be. You know what I mean? Although they used to throw them veggies, throw some fat back in them veggies, and you know what I mean? We had milk and stuff like that, or whatever the case. It was a little more natural than it was, processed like it is now. Pork, we ate more pork, but the thing is we fed our pork, we fed our pig, and we processed our own pig. And now, you know what I mean, farming is not what it used to be. You know what I mean? The FDA is, I ain't gonna go down that road, but anyway, farming is not what it used to be. So some of the things that we think are supposed to be natural or supposed to be good for us and things like that, which a lot of people don't know, that cows are a hybrid. Cows, COWS, that where they get the milk from. They're a hybrid animal. A lot of people don't Google that. Make sure you Google that. Cows are a hybrid animal. And so, we've been taught for years, drink milk. It does this, it does that, does this, does that. But years later, now we're starting to learn that no, milk is actually killing us. Milk is the one that's causing acne and causing health problems and causing all these issues, the breakdown in the body, because the cow is a hybrid. It wasn't made from God. God didn't give us the cow. God didn't, he didn't create the cow. And so therefore the milk ain't for us. So all I'm saying is, the way that our diets were when it come down to our family and the genetics that were passed down, we're actually in more danger than what our parents were in. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is we need to be more aware about your genetics. What you may not be as, strong to fight, that's something to consider. Generational curses, things that have happened in the family. We're talking abuse. We're talking financial issues. Poverty is something that can be passed because it's a state of mind. Let me say that again. Poverty is a state of mind. Why we got to drink the cow milk? I always wondered that. Honestly, and I've never done the research into even trying to figure out where that came from, like where they got that. Like, well, how did that start? That's a good question, Lakeisha, and that's something I'm gonna look into that, and I'll just create a post and explain that, once I get the information, because I mean, I guess when I figured out that it wasn't good for you, I should have also looked that information up as well. Anybody, if you have the answer, please, or if anybody can Google that real quick, you know what I mean, post the link in. I'll definitely be appreciative of that. But generational curses is it's things that plague the family, bad events that happen due to habits that get passed down. So we're not just talking about food and things like that, but we're also talking about, I hate to say this, just being open to family. What I mean by that is, what I found to be sad in growing up, and it's not a secret that I was molested as a child by two different men for 8 years of my life, right? I had to say it like that because I want you to understand how bad it was, but I thought I was alone in that. You know what I mean? I didn't realize how common that young boys and young girls, at the same time that it was going on with me, it was going on with them. Different lifestyles to what are you pertaining to, Keisha? That it was going on with them. And so it's just been very, very eye-opening to me. You know what I mean? That the things that have been passed down. And so then when I talk to my mom, and my mom shares some things with me, and then my grandmother shares some things with me, and then, you know what I mean? You go further back, and this is something that's not new. And I've spoken to other women, you know what I mean? I've been a part of a few sister organizations, you know what I mean? And you got to get to know each other. You got to bond and things like that. And it's crazy how everybody's stories are of some type of trauma, where it's dealt with almost the exact same thing. And it's like who hasn't? That's now the question. It's normal now for a woman to have experienced some type of molestation, rape, or abuse in her life. That's like the norm. And if you haven't, it's like, oh girl, you was born with a silver spoon in your body. Everybody wouldn't look at it, have two parents. Hey, Kevin. You know what I mean? Which is not fair. That's not fair, because that's not normal. That's not okay. And so those generational curses are things that have been passed down. They've been passed down. Not just that, but abuse, whoopings, the way that we used to get whooped. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, I am all for corporal punishment. And I will say that 1,000 times over. I am all for, being open to family and the different lifestyles that they have. Family and the different lifestyles that they have. Elaborate, because I think I'm like way further than where, and I'm forgetting to what maybe I'm not connecting where you're responding to. I apologize, I really do. But let me see, alcoholism. If you're used to seeing alcohol around the house all the time, you know what I mean, and you get your first taste, you know what I mean, you think that that's normal, you know what I mean, because that's all you've seen. And now that military culture, you know what I mean, it's just something that continues to get passed down, and we got to figure out. There's a delay, so my comments appear late on your. Gotcha. What am I trying to say? Alcoholism, drugs. That stuff that gets passed down because it's the state of mind. And as long as if the state of mind does not change as you know what I mean, move on, it's not gonna be any better. And so when we talk about corporal punishment, you know what I mean. And we look back to where that came from. You know what I mean? 100 years ago. Like slavery was a little over 100 years ago, 130 something, 40 years ago. You know what I mean? And so at that time, that's when corporal punishment was really introduced, the whooping, the beatings, you know what I mean? And the way that the beatings happened, and then bring it on, bring it forward, you know what I mean? And that's just what people knew. And, to make sure that people abided by rules. You're going to abide by rules in this house. So when you get out in the streets, you abide by rules that's out there. And I say it again, I am for corporal punishment. I'm not for abuse. I'm not for abuse. A spanking on the behind, a little 1, 2, 3, not like this. I'm sorry. That's abuse. But you know what I mean? Just bend over, pop, pop, pop. Go to your room, think about what you've done, come back down. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But what we've been conditioned over the years is grab anything you can get your hands on. We've heard comedians talk about it all the time. Grab anything you can put your hands on. Yeah, and they beat the hell out you. And then you in the room and you huffing and puffing and huffing and puffing. And half of the beating that you got was because they pissed off because of what happened on the job. Or they pissed off about the relationship, the marriage. Mama just found out daddy was cheating. And then y'all to mess around and spilt the milk. Everybody finna get toe up. You know what I mean? So so there's a difference between abuse and corporal punishment. You know what I mean? A little, you know what I mean? And so either way, generational curses have followed us for a long time. And so, but mainly genetics and generational curses is everything that starts in the mind. You got to educate yourself. You have got to educate yourself. You have to understand, why is it that my family had these type of illnesses, and why did they pass down so many generations? Why is it that we, you know what I mean? Nobody in our family don't know nothing about money. Nobody in our family don't know nothing. Somebody down the line has to be able to say, okay, wait a minute. Because, they got books out. They got organizations out. They got these free things that we can download online. They got YouTube videos that'll teach you about stocks and bonds and investments and things. And I promise you, I don't know why I keep mentioning finances. It's in my spirit to keep wanting to, think about programs and stuff for the kids, to think about wanting to have these type of conversations. I downloaded the Wall Street Journal on my phone, and and let me tell you why I did that. Hey Jess, hey Rudy, let me tell you why I did that. I went to I used to do the newspaper, so I'm not doing the newspaper route no more because I got these other jobs and it's just way too much. But anyway, so I'm no longer doing the newspaper route no more. But you guys, I've been saying it for the longest that my route was in where there were mansions, big houses, rich communities, and things like that. And so I can tell, you know what I mean? That's where I would start my route. I mean, because by the time I was done, I was able to go back home. They want it, but they don't want to know the different ways to obtain it. Hey, girl. I don't know if that's true, Lakeisha. I think it's more so they don't believe. They don't believe. That's the state of mind, the state of poverty. You don't believe that you're good enough or you're able or that it's possible for you to obtain that. State of mind once again. So it's not so much. I really don't think. I think people really do want to evolve. People do want to live in a better place. They do want to be in a better position in their life. I think it's just a matter of that belief system. You know what I mean? Because if for generations all you have seen is the ghetto. The ghetto is a community of people living the same type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? And so if that's all you see, and sometimes you can find happiness in the ghetto. Everybody happy, laughing and content. And it's like, man, that's home. That's where love is and all that other type stuff. But I promise you, you drop $1 million on every doorstep and everybody in the hood, they out. They gone. They are gone. All right. If they smart, they out. So anyway, I just want to say, when it comes down to generational curses, when it comes down to finances, when it comes down to, you know what I mean? When you start learning about what's been happening in your family and where you come from and what's been, you know what I mean? Somebody has to stop and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And as I learn, I need to bring it back. You know what I mean? Mama, look what I learned. I know you got like 200 in savings. Let's take 50 of that. And you reinvest that, and I'm gonna put 50 and I'm gonna invest mine. And you know what I mean? Let's have these conversations, and then get brother in and then get sister in. You know what I mean? So that way when the nieces and nephews are coming up, y'all can start, providing this information to them, because it's happening in other communities. It's happening in other communities. Yeah, they're letting their kids and stuff come up as kids, but they're also still teaching them, you know what I mean? They're still depositing little nuggets of information. They're still depositing nuggets of information. And so these babies are not too young to learn anything. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. Our kids are too young. We cannot, we can't be, that they don't understand that money stuff. Are you crazy? I used to work for the Girl Scouts. What you think cookie season is all about? To you, it's about buying cookies. But the curriculum that the girls get at 5 years old, 4 and 5. No, I think that 5 is the first year that they can start. At 5 years old, Girl Scouts got a curriculum that teaches them about goal planning. You know what I mean? So, there's these incentives, you know what I mean? And you can get these awards and you can do this and you can get that and you can get these patches. And so they're giving them something to look at. They're giving them, you know what I mean? What's the end goal? The end goal is to get these awards. The end goal is to get these, you know what I mean? That's the end goal. What do you have to do to get there? I need to sell 2,500 boxes of cookies. Okay. All right. So now what else do I need to do? You need to look at where you need to go. Who's going to buy your cookies? Okay. So they're teaching these young girls at 5, 6, and 7 years old how to strategize on where to set their cookie booths up. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all see cookies, but the way that the Girl Scouts have set it up is we finna start depositing these nuggets into these little girls. At one point, to them, like they not saying, "Ooh, I see how I'm gonna be a millionaire when I turn 50." They're like, okay, I want a reward, but I know I got to do this and I know I got to do that. So they're dropping nuggets of strategy in their mind. They're dropping nuggets of goal setting in their mind and things like that. And we need to be doing the same thing. If your babies ain't in these programs, then why not do something at home? My niece, shout out to my niece Mina, 11 years old. 11 years old, saved up her allowance, and when she wanted to go buy her an iPhone 11, baby girl was able to go to the store and buy her iPhone 11, and mama and daddy ain't had to come out of pocket. I mean, of course they come out of pocket by giving her the allowance, but she was responsible enough to know that she wanted a new phone, and she was responsible enough to know what she had to do to get that new phone at 11 years old. Now, if she's able to do that at 11, imagine how much of a beast she's going to be before she's 15, 16 years old when she can go to work. So I'm just saying, generational curses. I wasn't taught these things when I was young. You know what I mean? I wasn't taught these things when I was young. But one thing, I got a Blockbuster account, and I don't think I was late. I don't remember, but I remember having a conversation with my uncle, and I was like, I got a letter in the mail, and it was from Blockbuster, and he said, well, what is it for? And I said, well, it's I think I owed them like $25, and he was like, pay that. You got money to pay that? And I was like, I can go take care of it. And he was like, take care of that, because what can happen is that can prevent little things like that. Not paying your bills can keep you from buying a house. Now, at that time, I didn't know what he was talking about. And mind you, I was 17 years old, and I didn't really care to ask no questions. But he dropped that little nugget in my head. And so he said, no matter what, anytime that you incur a bill, pay it. Because that can prevent you from getting the car that you want. That can prevent you from getting the house. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just make sure I pay my bills on time. But I didn't ask questions like, what is credit? You know what I mean? Because he didn't go that deep into it. He was just like, go pay that $25, because he could tell by the way that I was talking, I was about to rip that thing up, throw it away, and be like, oh, well, it's just $25. Go pay that, because if you start being irresponsible, you're going to always be irresponsible when it comes down to your money. And so all I'm saying is if now you can have these teachable moments with your nieces, with your nephews, with your cousins, with your neighbors' kids, with these programs and stuff that y'all be volunteering for, if you can drop these nuggets of information, you know what I mean? It will start to turn the course. I'm sorry. So, when I talk to my grandmother, and I thank God for her, and I'm not bragging, but she always gives me praise because of the turn that I had. I'm the first person in my family to get a master's degree. I'm the first person in my family to get my bachelor's degree. You know what I mean? And so for her, she's proud of that. She's proud of that, because I made a decision, because of all the things that I went through, that I will not. My kids won't suffer the way I did, and I won't put myself in poverty ever in life. You know what I mean? So I always was responsible with my bills and things like that when I could pay them. And then if I ever got into a bind where I just could not get the money to pay my bills, whenever I got the money to pay it, I'm on top of it. That's priority. Let me get my bills up to par. Just like now, I became an entrepreneur. I moved down to Florida. So of course I've fallen off the wagon with some things, but definitely now that I got these jobs, what y'all think I'm finna start working on? You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about telling y'all that, because I already know my priorities are in order. You know what I mean? So I ain't got no problem telling y'all about that or mentioning that, because I promise you, my priorities are in order. My stuff gonna be taken care of. Hey, Soraya. So I wanna be transparent in talking about that there is a way to break genetic and generational curses. You just have to inform yourself. It's a state of mind. And if you do not change your state of mind, you're gonna live in poverty forever. If you do not change your state of mind, you're going to live in depression forever. If you do not change your state of mind, you're going to live in sickness forever. If you do not change your state of mind, guess what? Your daughters are going to get molested and get abused and things like that, because guess what? You don't have to be the one to be irresponsible or whatever the case may be. But the fact that you are still in the state of mind of not being careful and not paying attention to the cycle that's happening. Oh, well, her mama, all she cared about was the man, and all her mama cared about was the man, and all her mama cared about was the man. Maybe that's what's been happening. So instead of putting all my love and care into a man, you know, I love my kids, but let's try this love thing a little differently. You know what I mean? How do I make sure that I protect my kids 100% to keep certain things from happening to them? How do I make sure that my kids, that blood pressure stops with me? Matter of fact, if I don't have blood pressure, how do I make sure that it stops with my mama? And that I don't get it. And I train my kids up not to get, you know, not to fall into the trap of enjoying soul food so much that they allow themselves to, their bodies to break down and get sick. You know what I mean? So there is a way to break genetic and generational curses. You just got to inform yourself. You have to want more for your life and for your children's life. And if you ain't got no kids, I don't have no children, but I got nieces and nephews. I got brothers and sisters that are younger than me. I'm the oldest. You know what I mean? So hopefully I can pass along information to them. You know what I mean? My nieces and nephews. I got 1,000 friends, you know what I mean, that got kids and things like that, that I'm well connected with, that I can pass along information to, that I pray to goodness that they're plugging into here. You know what I mean? Unplug, rewire. You know what I mean? And plug into this information and just start asking questions. Start asking. If you've never asked the questions, start asking. Get on the horn. Go into 2020 aware. Go into 2020 aware, man. We can't be ignorant to nothing no more. We can't be ignorant to stuff. If you ignorant about stuff today, it's because you want to be. It's because you want to be. Now, you may ask your grandma something and be like, "Mom, I got a question. Like, Uncle so-and-so died from this, and Aunt so-and-so had this, and one minute she was fine, and the next minute her hands was crippled, and this happened." And like, what? Is that something I need to worry about? And what is it? They you know, they start saying terms that you're not familiar with. Write it down. Write it down. You all should be getting an annual check from your doctor. Go to your doctor. Hey, I found out that in my family, they got this. What is that? What is that? You know what I mean? And if you don't want to wait till you go to your annual, Google. There's so much information online. There's so many books. Excuse me, there's so many books. Go to the library. The librarians are bored because everybody's going to online for stuff. Go to the library, read up on this stuff, find out what is plaguing your family and how can it stop with you. How can you reverse it with you and then bring the next generations up differently? Bring them up differently. So the whole point of unplugging and rewiring is to become a part of the Junkyard Fitness crew and get rid of junk. Get rid of junk. Get it out your family. Get it out your life. Get it out your house. Get it out your heart. Get it out your mind. It starts here. It starts here. Once you start getting the ideas and start gaining the knowledge, you'll start getting the desire. That desire will grow. And the more that you feed your mind, the desire continues to expand. And the more that the desires continue to expand, the more that your feet will start walking in the direction that it's supposed to. But it starts in the mind. If you're tired of being poor, if you're tired of struggling, if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, you have got to break that. Break that mindset. Break whatever it is. And it's difficult because you wish that you had people in your life that you can turn to and say, hey, I want to start investing. I don't have the money, but I can put $5 aside every paycheck. $5. What can I do with it? And some of us want to. I believe that. I believe deep down inside you all really want to, you know what I mean? There's some areas in your life that you really want to improve, but you just do not know what to do. You don't know what steps to take. And honestly, it ain't even about what steps to take, because you could probably be looking at the step right in front of you, but you don't know what questions to ask. Do you trust the resource? Is the resource going to take advantage of you? That's really true. Yep. So all I'm saying is that it starts in your mind. Once you have to just start doing the research. Just start looking into stuff. The stuff that I be talking about, just go look and go read. Don't worry about the desire. Don't even worry about taking the steps. Go read. Just for a second, just start writing down some of the stuff that I'm talking about. That some things that I may be peeking in your heart and in your mind, write it down. And then tonight, when you just in bed on the phone anyway, Google some of that information. Google it and start seeing, Start saying, well, if I start incorporating some of these positive habits in my life, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? The universe start looking in your direction and, oh, hey. Somebody woke up. How you doing? Okay, you starting to. I see the desire starting to develop. I see your mind starting to work. Let me help you out a little bit. Let me shift this universe a little bit so you get the information that you need. Let me start talking to your spirit man now that you're starting to clean up a little bit, and you're gonna be able to hear me. I'm telling you, just start doing the reading. Go on Google. Find you some books, open up some scriptures, start having some conversations, write that information down. And once you start pouring into your mind, I promise you, you're going to start developing a desire for more. You're going to start developing a desire for more. And once you start developing a desire for more, I promise you, your feet going to start walking because you're going to want it too bad. You know what I mean? When you start seeing, and I'm telling you, when people around you start seeing how you changing and stuff like that, they gonna want it. I just did some research. I tried to find out about my family and our medical history, and I did some research. Matter of fact, as a family, let's do this together. Those of y'all that got different daddies and same mamas, everybody start talking to your daddies and y'all come together as a family and just start, figuring out how you all can help each other to heal. Cousins, those of y'all that, as a project together, start looking at how you can heal the family tree. They talk about how we the world is starting to become broken and lost. We don't have to. We don't have to continue to be broken. We don't have to continue to be lost. We don't have to continue to be, going backwards and becoming uneducated. You know what I mean? We talking, I'm listening to some folks talking like slaves again. And it's like, what? Stop that. Stop that. Because ain't nobody stopping you from getting an education. So why you not reading? Why you not trying to better your level of education? Right now, I'm pretty sure I can go on Google right now. I can go on YouTube. And I can learn my vowels. I can learn my nouns, my verbs. I can learn how to talk right. I can learn how to write correctly. I can learn all that stuff. So if you ignorant, you don't know nothing, you don't know how to spell or nothing like that, and you're adult like that's on you. Get your butt on YouTube and stop being lazy and start educating yourself. You ain't got to tell nobody. If you embarrassed by it, fine. Be embarrassed. Close the doors, shut the blinds, turn off all the lights so don't nobody catch you educating yourself. But at the end of the day, there's no excuse for you to be where you at in your life. There's none. There's none. There's none. You got to develop the hunger. Depression, not an excuse. It's not. It's not. Is it hard? Is it hard to want more for your life? Why you suffering in depression? It is. Ask me how I know. That's why I say it's no excuse. Is it hard when you got anxiety to start going after things that give you a little bit of fear? It does. But ask me how I know. You ask, you have not because you ask not. If you know you got fear in your heart, you got to start praying to the universe and saying, remove this fear that is within me so I can start taking the steps forward. If you don't believe in yourself, it's because you're not putting yourself in a predicament where you can start believing in yourself. If you're not knowledgeable about certain things, go learn it. Listen, I was a DJ. Some of y'all know this. A lot of y'all don't. But when I was 21 and I was living in the UK, I became a DJ. And it's a long story how that happened. I was promoting nightclubs and all type of stuff. And I wanted to, I think we got tired of trying to find DJs. DJs were booked here, booked there. We promising club owners all this other type of stuff. And it was just like, you know what? I'm going to back our own equipment. You know what I mean? And we just going to do this on our own. We had a little team, you know what I mean? And so, anyway, I got a loan for $4,500 and I bought everything. I bought everything at one time. I didn't build up to it. I bought everything at one time. Turntables, mixers, the cords, the Serato, the laptop. I bought everything at one time. And, you know, I went to certain people and I was like, hey, can you teach me how to spin? Well, I ain't ugly. You know what I mean? And I was about 30 pounds lighter then, 120 something. You know what I mean? So it was like, I'll teach you how to spin. You know what I mean? That type of crap. And I'm not that type of female. So it was just like, you know what? Okay. All right, cool. Got it. YouTube taught me how to put my stuff together from out the box. Taught me how to pull my stuff out, what wires I needed. Well, most of the stuff come with the wires, but it taught me what wires I needed, what needles I needed to buy. DJ Coda in the building. Yes. Yes. But anyway, it taught me all the chords and stuff that I needed to put everything together, and I made it happen. You so silly, girl. But I made it happen. And so I sat in my room and you know what I mean? And I called some folks up. Hey, can y'all come up? Can y'all come listen? I got liquor. I got food. And I could cook. You know what I mean? So I had food. I had liquor. And I had my turntables. And I would just practice. Then I would go to the bass club. And I would, hey, y'all mind? They only paid $50, you know, per event. I ain't care. I just wanted to play. And so, you so silly. And so I did it. And I booked gigs and I did things, and you know what I mean? But I taught myself. I was that determined. You know, I felt bad because I was just like, dang, man, they're not taking me serious because I'm a woman and, you know, all this other type of stuff. And, you know, it made me feel bad a little bit, but at the same time, I was proud of myself. Now, I ain't saying I was the best DJ in the land. I wouldn't. And I didn't do it long enough to where I could become great because I went to college and I realized that was not my passion. That wasn't my desire. You know what I mean? So, of course, I cut that loose and I, you know, went and got my degrees and everything. And I'm going for the things that I really want. But I'm just making the point that, you know what I mean? It's not having the knowledge is no excuse. I knew nothing about DJing. I knew nothing about it. But I was determined to make a certain area of my business work, that I was willing to invest in myself and invest in equipment. And I taught myself. I taught myself how to, most of the stuff I do now is self-taught. It's self-taught. I have a shower at my house in Arkansas that I own, that I myself just went in there one day with a sledgehammer, knocked the walls down. I got tired looking at this crack that was on the wall. It was more to the story than that, but either way, there was a crack on the wall. I got tired looking at it. So I took that sledgehammer, and this was before I had even went online and even looked and see how to rebuild the shower, right? Went in there with that sledgehammer, whop, 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 brought the whole wall down, honey. Brought the whole thing down. And I looked and I was like, well, like we got some building to do. Stayed on YouTube and watched and watched and watched and watched and watched. I'm not saying do that. Do not do that. Do not put yourself in a situation that's going to cost you a whole lot of money to get out of. But luckily, we only had to spend like $700, maybe $800. Put that money together myself. Sorry, me and Corey put it together. Let me get that man his credit. Me and Corey put that thing together. You know what I mean? But you know, I did the research and everything. I picked out my own, you know, everything. You know what I mean? It's, we need to cut this tile because it needs to go up here a certain kind of way. So you know what I mean? Hey, Scorpios ain't scared of nothing, right? We just be doing stuff. But you know what I mean? But I'm just, I'm going back to say that not knowing is not an excuse to take the steps of breaking generational curses and breaking, you know, genetic curses and things like that. If things are passed down to you, bad habits and stuff like that, and it's caused you to fall ill in a way that that you may, I'm not going to say you contracted that from your family. I'm going to say that the habits that the way they lived was passed down to you, which caused your body to break down. I just don't believe that you can pass down diabetes. I don't believe you can pass down. I just don't believe you can pass that stuff down. You can't. I just don't. I believe that you inherited the bad habit of living. I'm sorry. You inherited the bad way of eating, although it tastes good. You know what I mean? You inherited that. And so therefore now you're sick. And how do you get better? And we're not, and nowadays nobody knows the benefits of fruits and veggies. We just know it's good for us. No. We're so reliant on medicine that we don't realize that there's so many things, even stuff that has nothing to do with your health, just your mood. Just your mood. And a lot of people that find out that I got Hispanic in me, that's where the attitude come from. At the Puerto Rican side. No. Gotta learn how to take a step back and check myself. And I learned how to do that. And mind you, I thought that was my hair. Now, mind you, I've been in anger management 3 times in my life. Had some anger issues. And you probably won't believe it. I used to be very violent. When I was younger. I got bullied a lot. And then when I found my hands, it was over. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Because I wanted more for my life and I love being a mentor. I can't have my kids seeing me a certain type of way. You know what I mean? And so what can I do to channel? I ain't going to say every now and then I don't get an attitude. You know what I mean? It's quick. It come and I be like, whoa. That escalated quick. Go to your room. Go do something. Figure out how to reverse it. You know what I mean? But I figured it out. My mama, listen. If you disagree with my mama for longer than 10 minutes, I promise you, she probably gonna pick you up and throw you up against the wall because it happened to me 3 times. But I'm just saying, like, we got tempers. Me, my brother, my sisters, my mom. We got bad tempers. And what I had to do, because I control that, because they got, at first we used to celebrate that, but it ain't cute. I ain't gonna lie. It's not cute. And the thing is because I'm realizing I don't like being that way, I got to figure out, okay, what do I got to do? It's cool. Okay, cool. You can fight. You can prove the point. Sit down somewhere. Now, what you know what I mean? We trying to do big things. And so in order to do big things, it's the laws of attraction state, scientific. All right. This is also studied in religion, but on a scientific note, the laws of attraction state that in order for the universe to work in your favor at the end of the day, in order for the universe to work in your favor, for God to hear your heart and your desires and all that type of stuff, you have to be a cheerful giver. You have to always maintain high frequency. I'm gonna mention this in some kind of way in all my videos because I want y'all to get this. I heard it over and over and over and over, and you know what I mean? Hey, Jermaine. Over and over and until I started walking in it. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to hear stuff over and over again until you like, oh, you know what? Tasha said, oh, how did I remember that? You know what I mean? But you have to play that stuff in your mind over and over again. So anyway, the laws of attraction states that as long as you maintain high frequency, right? High energy at a high frequency at all times. Now, mind you, when I first learned it, I was like, oh, at all times, talking about people is negative energy. And I used to talk about people all the time. Talk trash all the time. You know what I mean? I wasn't talking about you behind your back. I was definitely saying it to your face. You know what I mean? But it was, but that's negative energy. Being negative energy. Being mad all the time, negative energy. We have so much in common. That's all I heard growing up, how my family went for bad, but I didn't want that to be what my kids grew up hearing. Exactly. Yeah. And mind you, girls, women, especially Black women, we celebrate our attitudes. We celebrate having a nasty, like, girl, you know how we do. You know what we Black with. It ain't cute. We got to stop because we messing ourselves up. Because like I'm saying, in order for you to have the things that you want, black, white, green, purple, whatever, male, female, the universe is saying that no matter who you are, your energy has to stay high at all times. And if you nasty, nice, nasty, whatever, nasty, period, even for just a quick second, you know what I mean? You got to reverse it. So I might cuss you out real quick, like, and be like, I'll go make that right now. And I'm going to try to go make it right. And I got to sit back and I got to, you know what I mean? I got to hurry up and turn that around. You know what I mean? Because just as quick as it might start going down, it can go right back up. But you got to know the power of being sincere and apologizing and being sincere about turning your mood around. And sometimes that can be real hard. And because I be needing a minute. When I get pissed, like real mad, I can't just, you know what I mean? 5 minutes later, be like, girl, I need a day. I need a day. I need some time. We can't hug it out the next day. We can't. I'm going to talk to you. If you fall and pick you up, take you to the emergency room, but ain't no, hey, boo, I love you. Because the same B I was calling you yesterday, I might be calling you the next day. But in today, the today Tasha at this moment has been working on reversing that. You know what I mean? How can I reverse that negative energy that I might fall into as fast as I can change it? You know what I mean? And I'm working on that. And it is some people right now to this day that I'm not talking to. And it's not that I'm not talking to you because I'm being negative or I'm being nasty or anything like that. It's that you messing up my energy. You messing up my flow. You too negative. You too negative. Your presence in my life is too negative. And so I have to keep you at a distance. Ain't got to do with the fact that I'm being nasty. I'm not being nasty. I'm thinking, okay, after I make this right with you, after I apologize and make this right with you, I'm still going to keep you at a distance because I got to keep my energy in check. So in order to break genetic and generational curses, you just have to educate your mind. And so because I have the desire, I have the knowledge on what to do to obtain wealth, but there's so much in me that I have to work on my attitude. You know what I mean? My state of mind. I'm not, my mental is not, you know what I mean? I don't think like a person that of poverty does no more. You know what I mean? I'm now thinking in wealth. I'm now thinking I deserve everything that I can get you know what I mean? Everything that's out of reach, I'm coming for it. And I deserve that. When it comes down to a man, I deserve that. You know, I don't always feel attractive and I don't always feel, but I know I'm the bomb.com. You know what I mean? But I put myself in this position to know my worth. And so I walk in that. And so as I walk in it now, I can truly say to myself that I am the bomb. You know what I mean? But if I got negative energy and I'm not walking in purpose and I'm not doing all these other things, I ain't the bomb just yet. I got to work my way up to that. Truth be told. And so now that I'm walking in that, I can see myself in that. Now I can, okay, got it. Okay, I see how. You know what I mean? Now I can truly say, you know what I mean, that I'm an amazing woman. You know what I mean? Even on my roughest day, I'm amazing. You know what I'm saying? Even on my roughest day, it don't matter. I'm the bomb.com. You're going to get the best out of me. You know what I mean? If you sit next to me, I'm going to bleed all type of motivation, empowerment. And you know what I mean? Because all I'm doing is just thinking about how can I grow? Like I have fun doing that. And a lot of people are like, Tasha, you work too much. I don't though. I'm cool. Cause all my 20s was playing. All I did was play in my 20s. That's all I did was I played too much. So I'm good. If you feel like you missed out on life, go do you. Go have a good time. Every now and then I get me a little hook. I'm good. You know what I mean? And I'm back on it. I don't need to do what you do. So don't put that on me. I'm good. Me and God, we here. We got work. We got things to do. I'm now at a place of maturity where I'm like, all right, let's work. Let's make some things happen. So breaking genetic and generational curses. This is the time for you to take a step back and observe where you are in your life. As you have conversations with other people in your groups, your organizations, your family, your children, your nieces and nephews, your siblings, or whatever the case may be, this is the time of observance. We have 11 more days until we are, is it 11? My math is wrong. 12 more days until the end of the year. And so, you know, this is the time. Start take a step back. Yes. No, we don't want to do the New Year's resolution thing, but it is the time that everybody's most motivated and empowered to make some changes in their life. And so if this is the time that you're empowered and motivated, I encourage you. I hope that you will take time, you know what I mean, in the next 12 days to take a pen and paper and sit back and just start having these conversations, start asking the questions and everything. And then as you do that, start doing some research into what it is that you need to do to reverse, unplug, rewire, and walk in 2020 a completely different person. You know what I mean? A completely different family. Now that's more powerful. Bump that. Not just, don't walk into 2020 just a completely different person. Walk into 2020 a completely different family. A completely different group of friends, a completely different community. Yeah, that's powerful. That is powerful. And I always say, whenever you have an epiphany or some information or some stuff come to you, man, spread it, share it. It don't matter who's listening, as long as you reach one. I used to get caught up in numbers. I swear I used to get caught up in numbers. Not no more. As long as I can touch one. If I can change one life every day, that's my goal. Every day, touch somebody, say something to somebody, talk to somebody. And I'm always thinking, what can I say? What can I talk about now? What type of changes can, you know what I mean? That's the life we supposed to be living. That's the life we supposed to be living. But we so selfish nowadays. We so selfish that we so worried about folks taking up everything or taking from us that we lose. I promise you, it's too much. It's too much money, too much resource around here to go around. It's too much. You can't lose. You can't. So, I just want y'all to think better. So we do better, not just for self, but for others as well. Christmas is right around the corner. I hope that you guys are looking at Christmas. It's not about the gifts. It's not about the gifts. Yes, we are talking about being a cheerful giver. We are talking about having the heart of giving and things like that. So Christmas does inspire those acts. All right. It inspires those acts. But this is a time of Thanksgiving. This is a time of, thanking God for the things that he has done for us. Thanking God for being who he is. All right. Thanking God for, the birth of Jesus Christ. And, this is that time. You know what I mean? And so because the laws of attraction, once again, going back to science, for those of you that are not religion, we are taught to be cheerful givers. And Christmas is that time that does empower people to be givers, to practice that, to elude that. So I love you guys. I hope that you guys have a good night. And I hope that I was able to get through to some of you guys. If you have any questions or you need some help trying to figure out how to break genetic or generational curses that may be going on in your family, that's, it's coming down and you want to figure out how can you get it to stop with you. Let's have the conversations. Go to my website, borntolivefree.net, BORNTOLIVEFREE.net. We are born to live free. Or my email, borntolivefree15, born, the number 2, live free, the number 15 @gmail.com. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. I see you guys on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m.